Wow, Leroy really knows how to smash those barricades. I know something else he could smash. Buried was the third DLC map for Black Ops 2. It was released July 2nd, 2013. Oh my god, this came out 12 years ago? We are truly getting old, folks. Buried was smashed right between Mob of the Dead and Origins. Both excellent maps, but challenging for a casual player. In general, Black Ops 2 is actually one of the harder games for casuals. Can you imagine dumping a casual player into Origins? How about Die Rise? Send them to suffer in transit? This is where Buried came in. Up to this point, the only true casual map with perks and Pack-a-Punch readily available was Town. Buried came along and offered an experience that was fun and accessible to the more casual fanbase. But not only did it do that, it also offers an excellent experience for hardcore fans alike. This is what we are talking about today, how Buried was able to, better than any other map in my opinion, offer an exceptional experience for casual fans and hardcore fans at the same time, all the while adding so many innovative features. This is incredibly difficult and essentially never happens, which is why Buried is so fascinating to me. Let's talk about it. Let's start with the groundwork that makes Buried, Buried. For a map to be geared towards casual players, it either needs to be easy to pick up the map mechanics, or it needs to be a map that is playable without engaging with the map-specific mechanics. For a quick example, if we look at Afterlife or Beast Mode from Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil respectively, it may be tough at times to pick up and understand what you're expected to do in these systems, especially Beast Mode, if you aren't tuned into YouTube or have a lot of prior Zombies experience. Not engaging with these systems will incredibly limit your experience within those maps. Then on the hardcore side, these players want to go deeper and optimize or learn everything there is to do in a map. To display this, we are going to talk about the aspects of Buried and compare the casual and hardcore levels to it. We will circle back to many of these concepts at the end when I explain how Buried makes itself approachable by offering solutions to every problem that it may cause. It is the best map at doing this, and I can't wait to get to that explanation. First, we have to get the map concepts out to see what they are and go from there. Buried has a few ground level systems that are oftentimes optional or easy to figure out. First up, we're going to talk about wall weapons. Anyone moderately familiar with zombies would know to look for wall weapons to get a helpful boost of firepower. Of course, there is the LSAT and spawn, but we all know that it's impossible to reach, so don't even try. What happens after that though? You fall into the map and are greeted by a fully chalked in Remington wallby. That's odd, usually the wallbys are outlined. You interact with it and it goes away. Now you have a stick of chalk in your inventory. Luckily, there's a bright chalk question mark right there. You head up to it and you are told that you can draw the Remington on the wall. So you do to see what happens. You draw on the wall and bam, the real Remington wallby is available, and not only that, but you are given points that you can then use to buy the weapon basically for free. Tutorial complete. Now you know that wallbys can be drawn in at question marks and that you're given extra points for doing so. No objective markers, no hand-holding needed, a simple yet effective bit of training. That opens the door for hardcore players to utilize this system. They can grab all of the chalks and lay them out at different locations across the map. Doing this will grant them points, and if they are particular about a camping or training spot, then they can ensure that their favorite wall weapon is close to that location so they have easier access to ammo for the rest of their match. Another system that is integral but simple to figure out is Leroy and the alcohol. When you wander around the starting area of the underground town, you will almost inevitably stumble into the jail. You'll see the bright green key on the wall and use it to open Leroy's cell. You'll then see he's cowering and notice the faint sparkle from a container of booze. Once you give that to him, he'll bust through the wall and break out, at the same time opening a new path and granting you some points. Tutorial complete. Now you know that booze equals angry Leroy and walls coming down. No objective markers, no hand-holding needed, a simple yet effective bit of training. Of course, there is way more to do with Leroy, but none of that is necessary and is for those who want to have the extra levels to their game. You will find that the further away you have Leroy from a barricade when you send him to break it, the more points you are rewarded if he is successful. Now players don't just use him to open the map, they use him as a tool to get extra points, lining him up as far away as they possibly can and trying to snipe the barricades for a big boost of points. There is also a candy shop that players can go and grab candy. Much like Booze, you can give this to Leroy and he will do something for you. Booze makes him break walls, Candy makes him a more gentle kind of helpful. he will lock down the box and prevent it from moving ever again in that match. I do this every time I play Buried. He can hold onto a crawler for you so you can focus on the Easter egg, or you can learn the map and just walk around while he monitors that zombie and keeps it away from you. A super helpful and unique feature of Buried. He also can go and collect all buildable parts for you and build one of the map buildables. This is extremely helpful as this map takes place with the old one part at a time building system, which just sucks to use. Leroy, as a whole, is helpful and adds a ton of character to this map. He adds to the atmosphere as this entirely unique feature that instantly makes you think of Buried. It can help any player enjoy a map when they can be immersed in the setting and find it enjoyable to simply be there in the map. Another addition to the character of Buried is that the ghost is staring out of the window in the mansion, and that is creepy, which adds to the whole setting of this map. Those are the two biggest map-specific systems with the Walleyes and Leroy, and these are shown to players in an effective way. Equipped with this knowledge, players will be able to access the map and get themselves some good guaranteed weapons without relying on the box. Along their way, players will likely stumble across some of the other features in Buried. If players want to go and see the entirety of the map to access Pack-a-Punch, they will find yet again some unique features that add depth to the map. Navigate the mansion, and for every hit taken by a ghost, you lose 2,000 points. A brutal realization the first time you enter that house. However, you will quickly find that these spawns are easy to learn, and any player will be mastering this and not losing points in short order. As a nice bonus, you will also get a free perk for making the perilous trip. Once through, you enter a maze that will lead you to Pack-a-Punch, and this changes every time you enter. There isn't really a learning curve here other than knowing that this is coming and being prepared to navigate a maze. Okay, we have accessed the whole map now, and there is just one more discovery to come across inside the map that we need to talk about. You stumble into a church seeking salvation from the hordes of zombies, and there it is. Bright, beautiful, new. Vulture Aid is there to answer your call. Use this perk to get small coin purse drops with points, or small ammo drops to keep you afloat between max ammos. Even better is that some zombies are really stanky, and you can use that to hide yourself from the other zombies for a short while. Vulture Aid is a great tool for every player. It felt themed for the map, which was nice as well. There is a bank inside of Buried, which is tied back to Transit and Die Rise. The bank thematically fits this map better than any of them, and it feels right at home. A useful tool for players to take a good match and roll it into the next. Similar to this is the weapon locker, which can also let you store a good weapon to boost you in a future run. Speaking of weapons, let's talk about the new additions that came to Buried, starting with the simple and elegant Remington New Model Army, a 6-shooter that is only a part of Buried. This weapon adds to the layers of Buried and makes me remember, sadly, that this kind of thing will never happen again. If a gun is added to zombies, it's now added to all modes. If it's for MP, it also comes to zombies, and none of these will be map specific anymore, except for wonder weapons, but I'm talking about these kinds of guns, because when you think of Origins, you can think of having the Scorpion and the KSG, which you don't get somewhere else. When you think of Buried, you think of the Remington New Model Army, which you can't get anywhere else. That kind of thing won't happen anymore, which is a bit upsetting. Anyway, we also have the Ray Gun Mark II, a new take on the original ray gun, now with it being a 3-round burst that can penetrate zombies. It is a neat and fun addition to the map, but isn't nearly as fun as the Paralyzer. The Paralyzer is a massive wonder weapon that slows zombies and damages them over time. It is not the strongest weapon, and that is a bit of a downfall, but you can fly with it, so that's pretty neat. I also like the little touch of making it infinite ammo on a recharge, with the maximum that you can push the weapon before needing to cool down being 115. The last new addition is the Time Bomb. Quite possibly the coolest equipment we have ever seen in zombies, and it too only exists in Buried. Place this sucker down and you can use it to rewind time back to a safer spot. Save your progress before collecting each max ammo, and if you go down, you can back up and recover all your perks and weapons in one go. Downside being you may have to replay some rounds, but it is a great addition to this map that again adds to its legacy. With that, I have covered all of the new additions that came with Buried that I wanted to talk about, and from all we have discussed, I have to say that Buried is one of the most innovative maps to date. There are so many things happening here that players can keep track of and utilize. This level of innovation and additions may often lead to a complex map or a difficult map that pushes away casual players, but Buried, as I mentioned, expertly brings in these elements into a perfect map where it all flows together. Every time that there is a potential pitfall caused by either this map simply taking place in Black Ops 2 or caused by the way that Buried is created, it is also Buried that offers the solution. Let's run through the potential issues and then discuss all of the solutions and ways that Buried uplifts players to give them a better shot at succeeding. Are you worried that a strong weapon will be hard to get and don't want to gamble with the box? Take the chalk for an AN-94 or a PDW or the Gavel Knuckles. Bring it to your ideal location and draw it in. Buy it and now your weapon of choice is readily available for you. Worried that you won't have enough money to get around the map? Use Leroy. Once around, the booze is free and you can open up more of the map, not only for free, but also getting points in return. You can get to a large majority of the map just with the free Leroy destruction, and then roll the points you get back into purchasing the other door unlocks. Worried that the ghosts are going to take your money? You've got two options. Use the bank to deposit your money and go into the mansion with no money, then once you're in the maze, use the time you have in there to get enough points back to pack a punch. Or the second option, which is to already have a ton of points in the bank, take out extra so that even if a ghost takes your money a few times, you would still have enough to pack a punch on the other side. Are you wishing that you had a few more points, a little more ammo, maybe a safety net from the zombies? Well, Buried offers you Vulture Aid, which does all of those things. It will also show you where all of the perks and wall buys are, as well as the box and pack-a-punch, making it easy for a novice player to find what they are looking for. Would you like to use the buildables on this map but don't know how to build them, or maybe you don't know how to build them in any sort of quick manner? Use the candy and Leroy will build it for you. This can help a newer player get more into high rounds, as the strategy is to use the buildable traps on this map to achieve high rounds. Are you wanting to spin the box but don't want to chase it through this western town? Give Leroy some candy and he will lock the box in place, allowing you to spin as much as you want from one location until you get the weapon you want. Are you worried that you may have a slow start and just need some help to get rolling early? You can use the bank or weapons locker to boost you ahead, using some of your past match experience to navigate the map better, as well as your past match money and weapons to kickstart you in your next match. Does the tight layout concern you and make you worried that you aren't skilled enough to evade the zombies? Get your hands on the paralyzer and it will help you slow the zombies, giving you extra moments to think and get out of a potentially bad situation. If the tight layout is scary because you worry it will be confusing, don't worry, because it is also a straightforward map that is easy to learn. After only a run or two, you will have the layout figured out pretty well. Would you like a strong wonder weapon but are worried about the splash damage associated with the ray gun? Use the ray gun Mark II. It is powerful and doesn't splash damage the player like the base ray gun will. Only chance of it hurting you is when a zombie is directly in contact with you. Using the Mark II has a chance of damaging or downing you. Not common, and it isn't traditional splash damage, just wanted to be sure I mentioned it, so people didn't try to invalidate the whole video over such a small detail. Have you gone down and are in a tough situation now? If you placed a time bomb in advance, then you can go back in time and remove that mistake, giving you a chance to repeat and get it right. Every pitfall comes with a solution baked right into the map, and none of those solutions are hard to achieve. This is where Buried succeeds and Transit and Die Rise fail. Buried is the perfection of the Zelensky methodology. The best part is that none of these solutions are difficult to utilize. That is the magic of Buried. It is a deep map, no pun intended, but in that depth, it reaches out for all players and gives each player something that they can latch onto, something that is fun, something that is helpful, something that is unique. These things are what keeps Buried as a great map so many years after its release. It added more new things than many other maps ever have, and it doesn't get the credit for it that I think it deserves. At this point in time, I believe Buried is seen simply as a casual map, and while it is that, it is also so much more than that. I spoke about all of these things during this video and never even got to the Easter egg or story side of things, which is incredible that I didn't have to go that far to talk about this much within Buried. There is a whole nother level to the hardcore side that was never mentioned here and adds to the depth that this map brings to the table. How do I end this now? Buried does not have the name brand power of the two giants within Black Ops 2. It isn't as remembered as Mob of the Dead or Origins, yet it is an important map within the Zombies universe that hits on so many fundamental ideas, all while having flawless execution and showing the new features to players in an easy to understand way. It also has so many more features beneath the surface waiting for players to discover and take advantage of. If you want to know how to add innovative features to a zombies map, then look no further than Buried. Buried isn't even a top 10 map for me, probably top 15, definitely top 20, yet I find it so endearing and unique. A map like this makes me remember how much zombies used to do its own thing and really get experimental at times. It doesn't always work, but I would take the risk of a transit to have the reward of a Buried, compared to now where there are many good maps and some that are even great. None of them, however, match the level of innovation from maps 12 years ago, which is quite sad. However, I am not here to complain about modern zombies today. I wanted to reflect on an old fun map, and I have done that. What did you think of Buried when it came out? What do you think of it now? Do you agree that it was able to perfectly innovate in an effective manner? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.